It depends on the version of them. Remember, you have many offshoots of gray consciousness. So there are some grays that hybridized themselves for reasons of efficiency. In other words, through some of their genetic alterations, they were able to obtain things like higher focus, higher concentration, greater states of love, greater states of blissfulness. They kept the modifications to a minimum. As a result, the modifications they made served and supported their natural blueprint. So they were able to go through ascensions. They were able to go through evolutions. Their alterations brought them into a higher expression of self. There are other groups whom really, really, really explored all of the intricate ins and outs of how they could modify themselves, changing one feature and then changing it back, changing things that are deeply connected to the foundation of the being's structure and consciousness, and then changing it back through the radical experimentation, through the radical manipulation of the genome. A type of elasticity was broken genetically. The genome almost lost its ability to return to a normalized, structured baseline. It was as if the very baseline of the genome energetically was mercurial. This allowed for a few things. It allowed for the being's consciousness and DNA to almost become like a living shapeshifter. At the same time, certain spiritual connections were diminished greatly because the DNA was no longer capable of aligning with its original baseline. Its original baseline transformed into an ever-shifting mercurial energy signature. So this caused the essence, the intelligence of Mercury to become multiplied in these offshoot groups. Their intellect became incredibly brilliant. Their capabilities, their technologies became miraculous. Yet they became sterile over time. And their spiritual connection diminished. So not only were some of these groups dying out, but their ability to access the purification portals that would allow for a reunion with the Oversoul and the experience of a future incarnation, that gateway was now impaired. And this is, of course, the purpose of the hybridization program. So those gray consciousnesses can be transferred. That's one point, one purpose. There's many points and purposes. These things are multifaceted, but that is one. It's so the beings, the souls that are these offshoot groups can live on. So those groups, they are in the lower frequency. They are approximately 60,000 to about 200,000 at the higher end, because some of these groups have been able to, through deep relationship with higher beings, the mantis beings and the beings of Sirius, they've been able to temporarily stabilize that mercurial shifting DNA matrix. Therefore, they've been able to climb that ladder. They've been able to do that through the support and connection that they have with some of these other groups, some of them more ancient, some of them more ascended in their quality. So many of the grays that are of that offshoot branch, that ultra hybridization branch, their vibration is lower. Certain members from those groups have been able to obtain a higher vibration through the help of their higher dimensional allies. You have some beings that you call gray. They're a part of that same timeline. But before those radical applications of the hybridization technology was used, they simply used it to improve a few things that helped them remain focused. And of course, you have versions of humanity that didn't use it at all. Multiple levels of application and ascension. But that's a little bit of their story, some new insights into it, and also why there is so much variation in their vibrational quality.